political temperature in the Republic of Kenya are boiling. The opposition Azimio coalition are said to be the majority. Will William Ruto survive in the government with the leadership of majority leader being the opposition in the National Assembly? Join us today on the bench, M04 TV. We are joined again with Musa Akungu, the youngest political analyst in the Republic of Kenya, to shed some light about the same. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing, share, and like. Give us a comment on what you think about the same. Karibu, I'm Vincent Okinda. Now, the Azimio are said to be the majority. Yes. The court nullified Moses Wetangula's opinion to render the UDA government, or rather the Kenya Kwanza government, as the majority leaders. Which way, which direction should we take?
Vincent, first of all, thank you for welcoming back to this show.
Yes.
If you want to talk about the majority and the minority
Yes.
of the House,
Yes.
You first consider that there are elective positions and there are nominated positions. If you go by the elected positions, you'll find that the Azimio has a larger number. Before you get those, there are the shifting position where someone is elected in a ODM ticket, then the candidate shifts to the other party. And then there are things, let me say, like nominated senators, nominated, how do we call them in the House of Representatives? There are these nominated people who come. So it depends on whether the president will choose to nominate the people for his side or nominate the people who will be against his side. But by the way, the opposition will have to give some names for those people who should be nominated there. So you see, such things will matter about the numbers. But as we speak, I'm very sure Azimio, for the court ruling, they took the majority of the numbers. They had 167. And the Kenya Kwanza coalition had, let me say, 158. Yes.
Why do you think the High Court has taken all this long, around 2 years, to give that ruling at this moment of time?
Oh, you see, these political things do happen. When you see right now, the president is trying to win the public opinion. He wants to be the face of the public. So he does things according to the court orders. You see, when Uhuru was finishing his term, he had very many decisions that he made were going against the court. So that's what he's doing right now. The president is trying to go to abide by the rules of the law. Yeah? So when you find that, like right now, Moses Wetangula declaring Kenya Kwanza as the majority, so the president will comply. As you saw yesterday, the speaker, Moses Wetangula, already complied and accepted that the Azimio is the majority. So it took them long because this is just a political game. It is a con game to the common mwananchi. Some people might not understand, but this is some things to please people like Raila Odinga, to bring people like Junet Mohammed to the majority seats, majority whips, to bring them to the majority place of the House, and take people like Imani Chungwa who have been used, now they're being dumped. This is a political game. It is just a game being played.
Do you think court had some interest because for the ruling to be done after this long, it might mean in one or another way somebody had an interest, because the ruling could have come when the cases were filed? Do you think taking all this long and then to announce to nullify the National Assembly Speaker opinion who is the majority in the parliament, do you think the court had some interest in the same?
Yes, especially the Supreme Court of Kenya has been a big issue in the judicial system. The Supreme Court of Kenya has been nullifying the decisions made by the High Court, even out of law. I don't know, the 7 judges in the Supreme Court, a decision that is made by the High Court had to be overturned by the Supreme Court, or if it passes the Court of Appeal, the Supreme Court will overturn it. So you'll find that there's a game that was being played, and some 2 months ago or a month ago, you'll find that Martha Kome's security was withdrawn. It was not a joke, by the way. These are the political issues that are affecting even the arms of the government. The executive is overusing its power to manipulate the legislature, is manipulating the judiciary. So if the judiciary took long to make a decision, it is very obvious that the executive had some powers over the judiciary. So that's why the judiciary had to take some time. so that their policies can comply with those that the people in the judiciary can comply with.
The contradiction in between, as you've said, in between the High Court and the Supreme Court. We believe like in Kenya, Supreme Court is the final ruling, where the final ruling are done. So do you think like there is an interest from executive to make sure that who is who in matters, case decisions? Because the Supreme Court should give us the final verdict. And if we find like in such like a situation, some of the cases are made maybe, they are contradicting. Do you think like executive has also played a part in making sure that there's that contradiction?
Yes, it is the manipulation from the executive where your boss's boss, you want to listen to your boss and your boss is listening to his or her boss. And that's what is happening. The executive has a lot of powers as compared to judiciary, and it should not be like that. Every arm of the government should be operating on an independent system. But if you find a system whereby the chief justice wants to make the executive proud so that he cannot be ousted from the seat, then we don't have a system that is working.
So does the withdrawal of the security to the Martha Koome, did it mean like somebody was not complying to the commands?
Exactly, and that's why the security had to be withdrawn. If you find someone like a national chief justice who swears in the president, the security being withdrawn, then that means something serious is going on in the country. So he's being manipulated to comply with the forces that are pushing her to do what the executive wants. And thus, it is only the executive and the national security that has the mandate that can withdraw and set back the security of such high-profile people in the country. Yeah, so that is the executive. And the national security is being controlled by who? The deputy president and the president. Those are the chair and the deputy chair of the National Security Council. So those are the people who can, they direct who are being given the private security by the National Police Service, by the GSU and all that, the Secret Service, the NYS, they give the security to whom and whom. So if you see the security of the chief justice being withdrawn, there are orders from above.
We'll leave that aside. Now to the topic of discussion.
Yes.
That is it. The National Assembly now is being, as we saw yesterday, the opposition Azimio coalition. They stormed the parliament and then they took over the majority seat. Junaid Mohammed had to also testify like how he feels about that chair. He says like the chair feels some warm, you know, and he was explaining to the speaker saying like he had no idea of how different chairs in the National Assembly have some different warmth. How are you going to survive now in the remaining around 2 years where the Kenya Kwanza government is in regime?
As my point has always been, this political class, they are just like the same people. They are just like a family. So when you say they have shifted the opposition role, like, let me say there's no position. It's just about the minority and the majority.
It's a paper play.
It's a paper play. So you see, shifting Junaid Mohammed to the majority seat and shifting Kimani Ichung'wah to the minority, these people are just in the same table. They are dining together. And that's why you could see Aaron Cherargei accompanying Raila to the AU election, which is due on Saturday. So the matter of, it is of importance to the party. You see, like now it is the importance to the Azimio coalition, but if you find in the Azimio coalition, it is the ODM that has the majority of the shares in the coalition. Yeah? If you see like this party of Martha Karua called NA Kenya, doesn't even an MCA, doesn't even an MP. Yeah? So you see, the Azimio, the ODM has a larger shares in the Azimio coalition. That's why when you say about minority and ODM candidate, the majority, ODM candidate, majority whip, ODM candidate. So these are the things we should be talking about. So when you tell me that Raila Odinga has taken the majority because he's the Azimio coalition leader, you find that nothing is going to change because Raila himself is in the government. He has taken people like Upiwa Wandai in the government, people like Hassan Johi in the government. So These people of shifting is just to manipulate the public. I don't think if it is going to have a major change in the policies that they make in parliament.
Do you feel we can have a different effect going forward if at all the effectiveness of the majority leader being the opposition in the national parliament, in a matter that we could have somebody like Babu Owino being the majority leader in that seat where Junet Mohammed is sitting, because we tend to believe like Junet Mohammed doesn't, people's view could take like Junet Mohammed isn't that so much strict to make sure that he is obeying that majority leadership chair. So do you feel like the leadership of the National Assembly, on whom is sitting on that bigger chair, is also bringing us down?
You see, these people in the Azimio coalition, they won't give this seats to people like PK Salasia. They won't give this seats to people like Babu Owino. They'll also choose people who they can control. They will not choose people who speak for the public. And that's why I'm telling you, whether they choose Junet Mohammed, whether they choose, let me say, someone like, they choose this guy from, I don't know, not Suna, but in Kisumu County, they will not help the public. And they will always pass the policies that appease the government, because these people already are in the government. You see, Vincent? So that's why I'm telling you, if you take someone like Babu Owino, they cannot give him the seat because of the wrangles they have about the leadership in Nairobi. You see, about PK Salasia is a DAPK party, but cannot be given a chance to stand in the House as a majority whip or a majority leader. Because these people will always speak their minds. They always speak for the common person. Yes. So
in just a yes or no, do you feel Junet Mohammed will be our opposition leader during the day, and during the night hours sleeping at the State House?
Exactly. Junet is for the government and for the government, not for the person.
Now to the bigger picture of the Azimio coalition. We've seen that is the former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka trying to say like they want to withdraw. Wiper Party want to withdraw from the coalition. Jubilee has also threatened to withdraw from the coalition. And other minor parties, speak of DAP, has also threatened. Is this the right time for the opposition to sit together and mend up their things to make sure that they're opposing the government effectively going forward? Or everybody should take his or her own interest and withdraw the party?
You see, the only way that can benefit the common mwananchi is when the parties decide to make their own decisions and go their own ways. Like, let me say, when this broad-based government was being formed, you'll find that the ODM party was given the seats. There was no one from any other party in the Azimio coalition that was given a chance to represent the coalition in the cabinet sectors. So that's why I'm telling you, these parties should go their way. They should break this Azimio coalition, so that the Azimio can never have the majority. As much as we don't want the Kenya Kwanza to be the majority, Azimio should never have the majority. These are the people who are making this country. They are the sellouts in this country. These are the people they wait for an opportunity to emerge so that they can be given a chance in the government. You see, so every party should go its way, and the independence of the party should be adhered to. So when we say we have a coalition, we have some agreement. If we are the majority, you take the majority whip, I take the majority of the House, the majority leader. So such agreements should be in place, not when ODM comes and takes everything and leave the other parties that are in their coalition going the other ways without anything. And that's how ODM grabbed more power in our coalition.
So ODM has been playing a card where there's a personalized interest. When the bread is on the table, you feel like it has been taking it alone. But when the crisis erupts, it wants the unity. All right, now moving on, we have had the National Assembly Majority Leader, that is Kimani Ichung'wah, who has been very vocal. The president, in each and every president's meeting, you could not miss out on Ichung'wah. How is Ichung'wah going to survive if at all Wetangula, the Speaker Wetangula, will go on and announce the opposition now taking over the House, the National House?
You see, Kimani Ichung'wah was being used as a decoy to bring people of Mount Kenya together, but at some point he went too much from the point that he was being driven to. You see, the people like these other Mount Kenya leaders who are very quiet, who have chosen to speak the truth. They are speaking the truth because they were in Kenya Kwanza, but they have seen the light. People like Kimani Ichung'wah have not seen the light. They are just being used to win the people of Kikuyu. But now, with taking Rigiji out of government, is making Kimani Ichung'wah look like a demon. And his work is now done. And that's why they are bringing this issue of majority and minority. They are trying to take the majority seat from Kimani Ichung'wah so that they can oust him from the house as a he won't be given even the minority leader. You'll see this thing will be shifting to people like Silvanus Osoro taking the minority leader, and then the minority whip being given to another person so that Kimani Ichung'wah remain like a common member of the house. And that's what is it's just a card of games in the politics. There's no way for Kimani Ichung'wah because Ruto has realized that the people of Mount Kenya doesn't like Kimani Ichung'wah. Right now, what Ruto is doing, want to win votes ahead of 2027 elections. And he has realized that people doesn't like Kimani Ichung'wah. Kimani Ichung'wah is a liability. He's not an asset right now. So he want to do away with him a clean way where he can make sure that he takes the people who he feels that people love. He has known that people don't love Kimani. So he want to get rid of him, take someone like, let me say, Didi Nyoro was very quiet, put him in a place like minority leader. This is where the shifts is coming from, but it is over for Kimani Ichung'wah. Yes.
Do you feel like Ndindi Nyoro's silence has played a big win in matters of interest? Because during the crisis, the Gen Z and Gachagua being ousted out of the government, he went silent. He never spoke publicly on whom he supports. And he has maintained that silence. And right now, maybe, he answered in one interview, said like he will answer in 2026. A lot of questions Kenyans asking. For Kimani Ichung'wah, he has been so vocal and he has always made his ways clear. Do you feel like it's a win for Ndindi Nyoro as the next biggest thing for Mount Kenya?
You see, like people like Ndindi Nyoro, these are people like who are more of a leader than a politician. You can be a politician, but you are not a leader. You are just manipulating the public so that they can vote you, and you are not helping the public. That's when you are a politician. But if you are a leader, you don't talk much about politics. You are a politician, yes, but you are a leader. You are leading your constituency, and that's what Ndindi Nyoro is doing. You see like a JSS school in Kiharu constituency.
Yes.
Has a 3-block system, and it only comprises from grade 3 to grade 7. You have not gone to grade 8 and 9. So this is someone who is working, and these classes are being built by the CDF funds. Come here to in Kikuyu constituency. Show me a GSS school that is well developed under the CBC curriculum. Tell me any school that you know. There's no school. If we start with a school here, down here is called Togoto Primary School. There's no even classes. Even the ones that are being used for 844 are not completed. So tell me how the JSS school is going to develop where 844 system failed. That's why it's a win for Ndindi Nyoro, keeping quiet and working for the people. Yes, it is not a matter of speaking about politics when elections are in 2027, we're in 2025. Someone is always speaking about increasing a term limit of a president whom he doesn't know even is going to be re-elected. So that was a loss to Kimani Ichung'wah, and it was a big, big win for Ndindi Nyoro. Yeah.
Do you feel now to the decision of Azimio being the majority in the National Assembly, to the decision making? Last year we saw the finance bill had just some few days and then it was approved by the National Assembly, by the Senate. And now in matters of who has the voice in the National Assembly, are those bills and those laws going to have an easy way to being signed into laws, and what are they?
So Mr. Okinda, these bills are going to pass. Whether they come
with opposition? Yes,
with the opposition being the majority or minority. Because let me say, like, for example, a candidate like MP of Langata, Jalango, MP Jalas, Felix Oduor is elected under the ODM ticket. But his views, his policies...
He's a registered member of ODM.
He's a member of ODM, but he follows the policies of Kenya Kwanza. So even if you bring a bill, he's a member of ODM.
Don't you see it is because of development? If you don't follow the government, no development in your constituency?
No. These people will vote for the people who will elect them for the second term. They want that appeasement of those people who have some political punch, those people who can inject votes in their constituency, you see? So right now, an MP, like let me say someone in Kisumu called I'm forgetting the name, but such people, they are in ODM by registration. But for their political ambitions, they are in Kenya Kwanza where they will get the votes. So even if you bring a bill, you are sponsoring a bill you are an ODM member of parliament, and you're sponsoring a bill. These people will vote against those bills. You're just majority by registration, but not by the policies. Those, if you bring a bill, they'll reject. If you bring a bill that appeases them, they'll vote for the bill. Yes.
In matters of who should produce the national speaker, and now we're having the opposition and the government. Moses Wetangula was elected under the Kenya Kwanza. He came from the Kenya Kwanza regime and then took over the National Assembly leadership under the speaker's chair. So right now, are we going also to have some changes on who is going to be the speaker, or does literally Moses Wetangula face being ousted out?
You see, when we are heading to 2020, we are in 2025, heading to 2026, there are many bills that are going to be brought into the House to oust Moses Wetangula, but none of them will go through. Because as long as Raila Odinga will not qualify for the AU chairmanship bid, which we both know it's not going to qualify by the end of this week, there are going to be some troubles in the House of Representatives, the National Assembly. So that's why I'm telling you, Moses Wetangula is going to face some bills that are going to be proposed for him to be ousted as the Speaker of the National Assembly, but none of them will go through.
And now that you've touched about Raila, if Raila doesn't make it on Saturday to be the AUC chairperson, do you feel like he's coming back and trying to ignore, like, the government, the current regime trying to support him, and now taking the Azimio coalition to the business?
Exactly. That's the job what he's doing.
Is that what Kenyans want?
No, that's not what Kenyans want, but that is the job of what Raila Odinga does. Calling the people and calling the government. He calls both sides. Whatever he does, he wants a win. Whether Raila Odinga wins the government is okay. Whether he wins for the people is okay. But the thing that he focuses on is the personal win first. You see, this guy, when he fails for the AU and he has been declared the majority, is going to bring a bill that is going to sponsor the removal of Moses Wetangula, which is going to fail. The next thing which he's going to do, which he had begun 2 days ago, he has started criticizing the government about the abductions. He's saying that these arbitrary abductions should be stopped.
We saw that during his prayer at Langata.
Exactly.
Yes.
Those are things which he's doing. Doing things like endorsing Sakaja for the Nairobi gubernatorial race. These are the things he's doing just to play with the minds of the people. But let this man fail. You'll see people going to a certain strategic political ambitions where politicians are going back to campaign, realignment and campaigns, which political parties are going to be formed. And they are only waiting for this week. From next week, you wait and see. Yes.
So if Raila doesn't make it to AUC chairperson, the shift is going to change. The government has lost 10 billion. The government, the prayer that were at Bomas just gone that way, and business is going to continue as usual. Which way is he now having it to contain the Azimio House together? Will he reach out to Kalonzo Musyoka, Uhuru Kenyatta of Jubilee, and Eugene Wamalwa?
As usual, the con man will do the same. We'll just play with the minds of Kalonzo Musyoka, whom he has played since I was born. He has just been taking Kalonzo Musyoka right, left, and center, manipulating Kalonzo. He'll manipulate Kalonzo.
Yes.
He'll come and manipulate people like this Eugene Wamalwa. Eugene Wamalwa will be manipulated. I will come to Uhuru Kenyatta because now he's the majority. He has the majority he has the court orders being declared the majority. So these people will feel his impact in the political arena. So they will listen to him, but he'll manipulate them. He's either going to manipulate these people, bring them back together, then shift to the government. Or he's going to bring them back together, use it to fight the government as an official opposition to gain, you see, the opposition, the allocation given by the government. That's what he's going to do. Then come 2027, he's going to say he's going to vie, contest, then as usual, go and sell out the seat. Yes, that's what has been happening. And we common people go for the laws. Raila has won election how many times? It is in the public domain. But because of personal interest, he sells the seat, and people, and that's the normal life.
From the opposition, let us go get a bite from the Kenya Kwanza regime. We've seen the Secretary General for Kenya Kwanza, the ruling party in Kenya right now, they have a benchmarking in Uganda to do some benchmarking with the NRM, the National Resistance Movement, the party in leadership under the Yoweri Kaguta Museveni of Uganda. What do you think they are going to learn that they really don't know?
You can never learn from a dictator. It's only a dictator who learns from a dictator. You cannot tell me that you are going to benchmark someone who has been in the president for 20 years and we are heading to an election. Probably you want to get some ideas how to change the laws, how to manipulate the public on how you can stay in power. Yes, how do you benchmark? Why don't you go and benchmark in countries like, let me say, countries who are very democratic, who they maintain a 5-year, a 10-term, 2 terms in the presidency and you go home? Why do you go to someone who has been in the government since the country got independence? They have never seen any other president. Yes, and that's what I'm talking about. You can never benchmark in Uganda, Vincent. If you want to benchmark in someone who doesn't know even the rule of law, is abducting these people in opposition. Babu Wine has been always been in Besiji, has always been under torture. It can never happen. You can never benchmark in a country where there's lawlessness. Yes, let us be serious as a country. Yes, this is the Secretary General, I don't know from Mombasa or from where. These are total jokers. They are going just to see how they can maintain the power. Yeah.
So the current ruling party, Kenya Kwanza, is just learning from the dictatorship. And do you feel like there are any plans maybe to go the same direction?
Yes, and don't be surprised when someone tables a bill to increase the presidential term limit to even 7 years.
Senator Cherargei has been of that opinion.
Yes, they have always been talking about it, but because we are very blinded, we think they are joking. These people are not joking. These people are drafting this bill, and by the in the course of the year, you hear that an MP has sponsored or a senator has sponsored a bill that is being discussed in the House.
Mutuse too?
Yes. Another Mutuse will come. Yeah. People thought that Rigiji will not be ousted. What happened? A bill was brought, and he went home. So these are the things we are talking about. These people come with a bill, and because they know they control the House, whether they are majority or minority, they control the House. Because they have the money, and our MPs, obviously, they are very corrupt. If you tell them 1 million, they are very in. They vote yes. And that's how they pass the bill, and the bill will be signed into law. Ruto won't think twice. Will be signed to law and increase the term limit.
Senator Sifuna yesterday in the evening has also come clear and said, like, if the Azimio are taking over the majority leadership in the National Assembly, I should also reciprocate to the Senate. Do you feel like they have those flows to take over the majority leadership in the Senate? And what are now the repercussions having the two the national houses led by Azimio coalition as the majority leader?
Edwin Sifuna is just trying to play some politics for Nairobi. There's nothing that he's talking about that will help a common person in Nairobi, whether in Kenya, in Nyanza or Coast, anywhere. Sakaja is playing a personal politics. He's talking about
Sifuna.
Yes, Sifuna, I mean. Talking about being in the government and not being in the government. If Sifuna is very serious and is saying that ODM is not in the government, he should resign and go home. We are only 2 years to election. Why has he not resigned? Why is he speaking on behalf of ODM as a Secretary General when ODM they have agreed they're in the government? Their people are in the government. You can never be in the position in the government. You can be only on one side. Yes, and that's what I'm talking about. Sifuna is just playing some politics where he wants to be on the side of the people, but the policies he's drafting, the things he's supporting, even there in the House of the Senate, are things that are being sponsored by the Kenya Kwanza government. So you see these things, these gimmicks he's trying to play about the majority and minority. You give him that seat of the majority in the Senate. Tell me if Sifuna will refuse. Sifuna will sit on that seat of the majority in the Senate. So that's why I'm telling you, Sifuna is not talking about anything that will help the common mwananchi. These are just politics being played to please Raila Amolo Odinga. If Sifuna is serious about whatever he's saying, let him resign as the Secretary General of ODM, of which we all know ODM is in the government. He's being sponsored, the party leader of ODM is being sponsored by the state to go and write for AUC. That means they are in the government. Why don't he resign? Yes, so Sifuna, we are in a new generation. We cannot be manipulated. We went to school. We know what we see. We know what we hear. We watch the news. Yeah, we are on the ground too.
During, just as if unless, during the Baba Maombi at the Bomas of Kenya in Langata, we saw a Baba saying like he's leaving for Addis Ababa, he's going to fight, but he's leaving Nairobi under the leadership of his son. He said, Kijana yangu,
Sakaja.
that is Arthur Johnston Sakaja, to take charge of the city as he's going to fight in Addis Ababa. And many people have had that opinion, like Babu is the right man to take over Nairobi. What do you feel like a person from the Kenya Kwanza, that is UDA, Sakaja, being endorsed to take charge of the Nairobi, and the preferred candidate, the living member of the ODM party, where Baba is the leader, is being denied opportunity?
Let me tell you, Vincent, I'm a registered voter in Thiwa constituency in Homa Bay. But for 2027, and for the betterment of city of Nairobi and the capital city of Kenya, I'm going to transfer my vote to Westlands so that I can vote the right person, because my life revolves around Nairobi. You can walk from Westlands, go through Waiyaki Way, go, let me say University Way, go until CBD, when you don't find even a litter box where you can drop some litter. Johnson Sakaja cannot lead Nairobi. That's why I'm telling you, the right person is Babu Owino. I can challenge M04 TV, conduct an opinion poll, and tell me, if someone was to vote for anyone in Nairobi, whom would they vote for? And then bring the result to me. You'll find that these people are for Babu Owino. Whether Raila Odinga endorses Sakaja, whether he endorses that person, or I don't know, Kigade or that guy. The right person for Nairobi, it is very open, and people know it is in the public domain that even if you go and conduct your research, Babu Owino will win by a landslide come 2027. Is
Babu Owino a crowd mover? Because talking about experience, find like he has been out there trying to list, one by one, how Sakaja has been in the political arena. Starting from 2007, Vijana na Kibaki has also said about that. Came to 2013, he was under TNH chairmanship, and then 2018, he also was under Jubilee, and then right now in the previous election, 2022, he was under UDA. Do you feel like in the matter stability and experience, Sakaja is much far better informed more than Babu Owino, who has just have two terms in the leadership of the National Assembly?
Sakaja can never move a crowd more than Babu Owino. Babu Owino has that power to move the youths. Do you know the population of Nairobi? If you count the number of youths that live within that tenacity of Nairobi City County, you'll find the youths are the majority. And this guy was a student leader in Nairobi University. This guy has the power to control the university students, has the power to manipulate, let me not say manipulate, but to control the youth masses. This guy can organize, let me say, some strike. Let me say, like the other time where university students were being arrested. This guy said the university students should step up. And the following day, the university students had a press release, and they were speaking about the issues affecting the universities in Kenya. And that's why I'm telling you, this guy is going to be hard to beat. Whether Sakaja was a UDA, what, and those sorts of leadership, but the people of Nairobi are very tired. They are not going to vote for someone who is coming to disturb the people of Nairobi by the use of kanjos. Like there's this guy in the sector of environment and something called Geoffrey Mosiria. This person is really taking Nairobi to a place of darkness. Let me describe it as that way. Because you cannot disturb a business of a hawker, and you know the majority of the people who benefit from the hawkers, and these hawkers are the people who speak much about Nairobi City County. If you tell me today, you go to Nairobi CBD, there in the archives, and you want to speak to a random person, you'll meet more hawkers than how you'll meet people who own some shops. True or false? Very true, because these people will be engaging you in your daily activity. So these people will speak bad about Sakaja because they were taken out of the streets and all that. But it's a good move, but not a best move. Yeah,
how is now Babu going to survive? Now the ruling is almost clear. The writings are almost on the wall that he's not having that Baba favor. Just like Tim Wanyonyi didn't have that favor, and then he was advised to step down in the previous election and then go back to Westlands as an MP, which he won. It's good for him. Do you think like Babu is going to have it rough going forward? Because if Sakaja can win the heart of William Samoei Ruto, the leader of Kenya Kwanza government, and then also Raila Amolo Odinga, the eternity opposition leaders, Kenyans term him. Do you think like who is in the better position and which way is Babu going to take to make sure that he's bringing that opposition to Sakaja?
It is going only to be advantage to Sakaja if the Kenya Kwanza government endorses him for the same seat and ODM doesn't feel a candidate. You get my point? But if ODM feel a candidate and Kenya Kwanza feel a candidate in Nairobi, they are going to see whether Babu Owino is going to come as an independent candidate, of which if they conduct these or what do we call these polls for the
opinion
polls
yes,
for the party where they want to give out the certificate of the party nominations, Babu Owino will win. If they conduct a party nomination for ODM candidature, Babu Owino will win. And if they don't conduct it because they have endorsed Sakaja, that's a win for Sakaja. If the Kenya Kwanza government doesn't endorse any other person. But if Babu Owino comes as a independent candidate, it's going to be some sort of trouble. Yeah, it's going to be a problem.
Is there political life if Babu withdraw from ODM? Because he has been a life member since he knew anything about politics. He found ODM in existence and he has been a life member of ODM. Does he have some survival tactics if he exits ODM?
Vincent, there's always political life as long as you have some political say. Well, as long as you can control some masses, you have the political punch, you can always have political say. Whether you come as independent, I've been from Nyanza and I've seen people winning against people with ODM tickets in a Nyanza stronghold position. They win where Nyanza is stronghold and they have candidates. Someone comes and is independent and wins from the same spot. So I'm telling you, as long as you have that political punch, you can talk to the masses, they can listen to you. You'll also have a win. So the politics of nowadays is shifting, and we are moving from this state where we are talking about political parties. People are talking about views. People are talking about ambitions. People are talking about development. People are talking about these boomers are getting away from politics. The millennials are getting to the end, and the middle sector and the first end are coming to this youth. People who have a life after politics, before politics. Yeah, and these people are talking about development, employment. People are talking about better life, healthcare. And that's why I'm telling you, if someone comes with ambitions where to develop healthcare system, education sector, develop agricultural sector, these are the people we are going to listen to. Yes, I'm a voter, and the majority of the people who talk about voting are the youth. Yeah, so the political party voting system is going to be outdated.
Just to take you back a minute, yes. ODM has Babu Owino, ODM has Tim Wanyonyi. All are ripe for the gubernatorial seat in Nairobi. If at all there was that equal opportunity for both to go for gubernatorial, whom do you think is the most favorite? Because remember, Tim Wanyonyi is also on the race. He has proven it in Westlands, and Baba believes in him. Babu Owino believes in him, believes in ODM, and ODM has also believed in him, feeling him an opportunity to go for a second term in Nairobi and Bakassi. What can ODM maybe choose in between?
And this is why I'm taking you back to the place where I told you that Raila Amolo Odinga is someone of personal interest. Why am I saying this? He knows Tim Wanyonyi wants to run for the same seat. Babu Owino wants to run for the same seat. To avoid this sort of conflict, he has two options. Either support Sakaja or make Tim Wanyonyi and Babu Owino under one ticket. Make Babu Owino the deputy for Tim Wanyonyi. That's the only option he has, which is very difficult because these two people are people who have political punch in Nairobi. Both of them want to be the governor. So he's going to endorse Sakaja to tell these people that we are supporting our friends from the other side, so the both of you can cool down. And that's the political con game he's playing. Because, you know, he's going to lose on either side. If you support Babu Owino, he's going to lose Tim Wanyonyi. Tim Wanyonyi's brother now is the speaker and has some political say. So we'll tell him, there's something you cannot come about the family. If you hear what Moses Wetangula spoke about when they were in the burial of their mom. Yeah. So when family comes together and politics is involved, you'll get that there will be going to be some shifts here and there. But Raila is playing some con game where he wants both Babu Owino and Tim Wanyonyi to cool down by publicly saying that he's leaving Nairobi under Sakaja, who is not his party member. Yeah, so these are the political con game we are talking about.
My director is informing me that we are running behind time, but to the last question of a yes or no, do you think Sakaja has the ability to solve the Nairobi drainage system if at all he's given another 5 years?
Big no.
Why do you think so?
Sakaja has been there and
because drainage system has not started under Sakaja.
Yes,
started under Sonko, under Kidero. Yeah, what do you think?
Vincent, if you need 5 years to solve a problem that could, if you need 10 years to solve a problem that needs 5 years, then even if you are given 20 years, you cannot solve the same problem. A drainage system program can be developed under a one-term leadership, where Sakaja has done neither or nothing about it. We cannot talk about the parklands, we cannot talk about the CBD, we cannot talk about this upper hill area where there's no drainage. At least Sakaja could have said, I've done drainage in this area, so we can deal with the other area. There's nothing like that. So Sakaja is not a solution to the problems of Nairobi City County. Yes.
Your parting shot to the, maybe looking at the camera, to the court decision of nullifying Senate Speaker's decision of saying the Kenya Kwanza are the majority leader, and which way should maybe Kenyans expect in matters decision making in the National Parliament?
If the decision made by the court to make the Azimio coalition the majority, I think this is an opportunity for Kenyans. It is the Kenyans who made the decision to elect these leaders. So I expect the majority seat to be given to people who can articulate the issues of the common mwananchi. I expect the party leader, the coalition leader Raila Odinga, to focus on the issue of the people of Kenya, not just to be more concerned of the AUC political bid of ruling in Africa, but to consider that these people elected the leaders to be in the house to represent the people, the common people. So my last shot is to the Gen Zs. Yes, we were there from June 25th. We changed the political arena, we changed the political views. So I would like us to maintain the same views. Let us go to the ballot, let us take the votes. Yeah, we are only 2 years when the IBC has been formed. Let us recall these MPs who are very useless, like my area MP Kimani Chungwa, and my home MP, like that guy, I don't even know his name, but I'm glad we are doing well.
I'm glad we are doing well. That is Musa Akungu, the youngest political analyst in the Republic of Kenya. He has been with us. He has shed some light about the coalition, the majority being the opposition in the National Assembly. Until there, we wrap it up as my director, Silas Dalmas, is informing that we are behind time. But remember to subscribe at M04 TV. If you haven't subscribed, remember subscribing. Comment and share our videos because the bench is always hot. And to the next episode, we are looking to give you more of this. I'm Vincent Okinda. Thank you very much.